Would anybody like to make a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Do you have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Motion by Pauyo, second by King to approve the minutes of November 15th, 2023. No, that can't be right.
This was
I got the wrong one. Okay.
eighth-
Agenda, I'm sorry,
February.
February 21st, 2024. All right, King,
Yes.
Bilgan,
I was absent.
correct. Chu,
Yes.
Cordoveri? Absent, okay. Sherwin,
Yes.
Pauyo,
I think I was absent.
you passed for that, okay.
We're going to
thanks
talk
very
about your
much.
attendance after the meeting.
I had to recuse myself.
Yes, you did. Correct answer. There you go. Okay. Minutes have passed.
Which mic is? No, I'm just making sure everybody's mics are on. Okay, so tonight, the first petition that we are going to open and very quickly close is the Mystic Valley Regional Charter School. They were seeking an appeal and have since withdrawn it. And do we need to take a motion? We need to take a motion on
Withdrawing it?
withdrawing it.
Motion to withdraw.
Approve the motion.
Approve the motion
By
to withdraw.
Mystic Valley to
By
withdraw.
Mystic Valley Charter School to withdraw.
Would anybody like to second that motion?
I'll second it.
Thank you. We withdrawing just regular with prejudice. Withdraw. Motion by Pauyo, second by Sherwin to allow Mystic Valley Charter School to withdraw without prejudice their application. Pauyo,
Yes.
thank you. Sherwin,
Yes.
King,
Yes.
Bilgan,
Yes.
and Kramer.
Yes.
Thank you. All in favor, all passed.
Okay, moving on. Tabled from February 21st, 2024, petition 24-001 by, I'm sorry, I'm going to botch your name again. Okay. Seeking a variance under Code of the City of Malden as amended, Title 12, MCC 12.12.190, F1C, specifically the location of a marijuana establishment within 75 feet of any residential use, as per Plans CMID-063016-2023 at the property known as and numbered 28 Broadway, Malden, Mass., and also known by City Assessor's Parcel ID 123481125. For this particular case, Steve Royo needs to recuse himself and were you on this last time?
I was on last
Susan?
time.
Okay, so Susan Shu is going to be an alternate for this petition because,
Do I need to leave it? I'm going to just sit here.
leave, go over there. Okay. Good evening.
Chairman, members of the board. My name is Attorney Patrick McDonald. I represent the petitioner, Driss Corporation, and its principals, Lourdharry Pauyo and Mr. Christopher Febvre. As you may recall, we were before the board during the February meeting. And asked the indulgence of the board to postpone the matter and table it for 60 days. Because at that time, Ward Councilor Simonelli was working on a paper that was I believe was in committee, that if it could get out of committee and go before the council for a full vote, it sought to create an intermediate appellate level for Board of Appeal decisions related to cannabis locations and licensure. I haven't heard specifically from Councilor Simonelli that that paper has gone anywhere, but my belief is that he was not successful in that respect, that his paper was not able to get out of committee, not able to get before a full board of the council. So what he was attempting to do at that time hasn't come to fruition, and this petitioner is prepared to move forward on the application without the benefit of what might have occurred if it had. As I said, this is or as the notice that you read, Chairman, indicates, this is a petition seeking a variance of a specific portion of the enabling ordinance for licensed marijuana establishments in the city, and specifically that portion of the ordinance that requires there be a 75-foot setback circumference around the subject premises in which there are not supposed to be any residential properties. We are seeking to vary that particular aspect of the enabling ordinance with this petition. The property in question is 28 Broadway. We believe we can make a strong case with respect to the elements necessary for a variance petition. First of all, this property is very oddly and very uniquely shaped. If you take a look at it on a plan, its shape and appearance, in my view, are most akin to a home plate in a baseball diamond. Straight line down, but then angles coming in this way, they're odd angles. Most properties tend to be squares or rectangles. Certainly that's true of Malden, and this property is nothing close to a square or a rectangle. It is very oddly shaped when compared to other properties within the zoning district, and frankly, when compared to other properties throughout the city. It's just a really odd shape for a property. With respect to the hardship requirement that needs to be established here, again, I believe respectfully we can make a strong claim. I know that marijuana licensure is a bit of a hot topic in the city, especially with respect to that aspect of it that involves seeking variances. The simple reality is that the hardship here is that this petitioner is unable to find any conforming properties within the city. There just aren't many, if any, properties located within the boundaries of the city of Malden that don't run afoul of that 75-foot residential setback. To the extent that there may be some properties, they are unavailable for purchase or rent at this point in time. In addition, I'd like to inform the board that this particular petitioner is now over 4 years into the process of trying to obtain marijuana licensure in the city. He initially started this process in 2020. Now, I understand that that was a bad time for anybody to be doing anything because that was when the pandemic hit. But nevertheless, it's been a 4-year saga for him. And he has expended in excess of $75,000 up to this point in seeking properties that might work, legal fees, negotiating rental contracts, lease contracts for those properties, appearances before the board. He was before this board on another property located on Broadway across the street and chose to withdraw that petition due to a significant number of occupants in a condominium located within that 75-foot setback area that expressed their opposition to the position. And he was disinclined to go forward on a petition that was so vehemently opposed by people who fell within that area that portion of the ordinance was enacted and designed to protect residents living within 75 foot of such an establishment. Which segues me into the third aspect under the Chapter 40A, which requires that any relief sought by a petitioner for a variance not substantially derogate from the intent and purpose of the zoning ordinance. Now, I know that the zoning ordinance's intent and purpose, or at least this aspect of it, was to provide a buffer and a measure of protection for residents within a certain linear distance of the establishment, that distance being 75 feet. There are 4 properties that fall within the 75-foot buffer range of 28 Broadway. Those properties are 2-4 Newhall Street, 46 Newhall Street, 33 Broadway, and 25 Broadway. The petitioner has made outreach to the residents at all 4 of those properties. All 4, or the residents of all of those properties are in full support of this petition. and have submitted letters to that effect to the board. I would suggest to the board that if the people that this aspect of the ordinance was designed to protect have made it clear to the board that they don't feel the need for that protection and in fact want this to go through, that letting it go through and granting a variance could not be considered as substantially derogating from the intent and purpose of the zoning ordinance. The people that the ordinance was designed to protect are here or have, they may not be here tonight, I'm not sure. But they made it clear to the board through the submissions that they are fully supportive of this. Also, as the board may recall, Ward Councilor Simonelli is also vociferously in support of this petition. I understand he is desirous of appearing tonight. He may be behind me at this point, I'm not sure. He is. Good evening, Councilor. I'm sure he's going to want to approach the board when it's open for those who wish to speak in support to reiterate his strong support. Perhaps he could provide the board with more facts than I could regarding what transpired at the City Council. But as I said, what we were hoping would happen did not happen as of now, and we'd like to go forward on the petition and sink or swim with what we've got now. Mr. Fevry is here. If the board is desirous of hearing him speak or has any questions for him, he could explain his outreach to the neighbors. I'm sure Councilor Simonelli could offer the board some insight on that as well. And he can explain, his plan. I'd also point out to the board that the current occupant of the property, Greenleaf Auto Sales, a licensed Class II dealership in the city, he's shut down his business. He's hoping that this goes through at this point in time, and he's not operating his used car dealership anymore. The property is lying essentially unused at this point in time. So again, with respect to uniqueness of lot, with respect to hardship, and with respect to what extent, if any, the proposal or the requested relief would substantially derogate from the intent and purpose of the zoning ordinance, I'd respectfully suggest to the board that this is a strong application on all the required statutory elements, and would ask the board to ask favorably. I'm available as well to answer any questions I can if any board members have. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So just to be clear, what Councilor Simonelli was proposing did not, did you want to give us some sort of update, Councilor? Or?
Thank you. I'm Chris Simonelli, City Council, Ward 7, and I feel real weird being on this side and not on that one. And first of all, I just want to thank you all for postponing the last time they come up and presented their task that they're trying to complete here. I had went back to the council because there was a paper that was tabled. I'll be straightforward with you right now. I'm not in agreement with this ordinance whatsoever. I think the thing was rushed, because I've talked to everybody, Ron Hogan, all those people. I think that it was rushed, and I think some things were put in last minute that maybe don't make sense, because it's very difficult. And so they had a paper in the council that I thought would have moved forward. And look, I say it the way it is, and it's all about personalities with this paper, which I think is a shame. But that being said, I know you guys got to do what you got to do, man. I know that you got your rules and your set laws just like we do, and we have to enforce them. But you guys are the last line of defense for these folks. And I heard the attorney, Mr. McDonald, saying that this guy has been trying to get a location for 4 years. Now, whether we like the thing or we don't, I'm in recovery, so I'm not going to be getting any gummy bears anytime soon. But the fact of the matter is, they voted it in. It's it. And I see all these other cities popping up. It's not your fault. I think that Malden, once again, is kind of dragging their heels a little bit because it was voted in. It's legal. So it's gotta go somewhere. They gotta go up. And I think that we're missing the boat here because the revenue and tax money, and that's all I hear up in the council. It's all I hear, coming from the mayor's office, that, hey, we gotta tighten our belts because, we're heading into some trying years. And I've been there for those trying years. Last time I was there, I actually raised $3 million to fix the budget. So the thing is, we've gotta start to look at ways of bringing in revenue for the city. Because even if we're level funded, we're still behind the 8 ball because we have to, fulfill our end of the collective bargaining agreements with the raises that go out 3 years ahead of time. So, it's a trying time. So we're missing out on revenue with this, number one. Number two, the reason why I'm so adamant about this right now is because, I grew up in this neighborhood. You got the Newland Street housing projects right there. You got Bolden Park. It's the lowest moderate income neighborhood in the city. We get the lion's share of the CDBG funds because of that. And this proposal is about equity, right? That's what they put into it. He's a minority, and he's trying to open up a place. He's tried already on Broadway, the Miners place. I wasn't really for that. I've heard from the folks that live in the condominium with their petition with the Meineke place that's right next door to them. And I agreed with them. I didn't think it was a good location. I thought there'd be a traffic jam up there because people are gonna try and take a left in there and you got other businesses. I didn't think it was a good fit. However, this location is a great fit because really, they gotta come in through the shopping center parking lot. So it's part of the shopping center. And I've read the ordinance that they have, and they say they don't allow it in shopping centers. But there's a liquor store in there. I got 3 liquor stores around in my neighborhood. And, they're not supposed to have that many. It's only so many to people, but they got them just the same. So my point is that it's a minority neighborhood, and that's what this particular person is trying to put into effect. This license is the social equity license. And it's supposed to be for a minority that's opening a business, and it's supposed to be for a minority neighborhood. You got 2 in Malden Square. So the closest one for my neighborhood. Look, my neighborhood uses cannabis, man. I don't know what to say. Like I said, I say it the way it is. It's the truth. But hear me out. I got a lot of single parents, a lot of minority single mothers in my neighborhood. And they use marijuana, the candies, whatever, for medicinal purposes. Some of them use them for health purposes. That's not me to say. But they do. They indulge in it. So here's what happens. So the social equity thing's out the window. So we might as well just get rid of that because this is it right here. If this isn't the social equity piece for the city of Malden, then there isn't one. If it can't go there. Because now the folks that live in my neighborhood have to either take an Uber because they don't have a vehicle, most of them, right? So they gotta go over to near Cappy's Liquor on Route 1. That's the closest one for them to go to, and the one down on the end down there where the Smiley Buick used to be, the very first one Melrose has. So they gotta walk and cross Route 1 to go get a couple of gummy bears or whatever it is. And I just think that's horrible. I just don't think that's fair. So, again, you guys, I understand, you guys are gonna do what you gotta do, you gotta go by the laws and everything else, but I just want you to and I really appreciate you guys allowing me that time to try and fix this. And I'm going back and I'm gonna continue to work on this thing and fix it. It's like moving a battleship in a bathtub these days, but I'm gonna fix it. Because here's the thing, it's the last one too. So my neighborhood gets zoned right out. So what happened to the social equity? What happened to the minority status? When we talk about that as a city, man, is it just a show? Or do we act on it? I've known the owner for 25 years of the property. He's been in the car business. Great guy in the neighborhood. Everybody loves him. Fixes people's cars. Gives people cars if they don't have it from the neighborhood. Everybody knows Abe down in the neighborhood. He's responsible for his property. Here's the other thing. I'm in the middle of doing a transformation in my neighborhood. And if you drive around, you'll see it. I got a park being rebuilt right now at Canstead. I've got streets and sidewalks, trees being planted, beautification going on. That area right there is going to be rehauled. We're going to redo this, we're in the process of redoing the street over there, doing all new water lines. There's a intersection there that's like a death trap trying to get through it. I'm gonna get the blinking stop lights over there. We're gonna plant some trees. And I'd rather be looking at something like this, because with all the rules they got, you know, they've gotta make sure that the place is nice. They gotta make sure that the inside is nice. They gotta make sure that they got security. I don't have that now. I'm looking at, no offense, Abe, I'm looking at cars. I got a car lot. Looks honky-tonk over there. I'm trying to change my neighborhood. So I need your help in order to do so. That whole corner is going to be changed. I'm building townhouse, home ownership townhouses right on Bryan Street. I've been back in office for 3 years. And I'm kicking some butt down there. And it's thanks to this city and to people like you that will allow things like this. Let's step out of the box for a minute. Listen, we can always take it away if we don't like it. If it don't work out, we can always get rid of it. I've talked to the neighbors that are affected at this. I haven't talked to the people in the condo on this one. I did talk to them about the one on the Meineke one, so I'm assuming it's probably the same issues and the same thing. And I agreed with them on that one. However, I do not agree on this one. Listen, Everett don't have any. So we're gonna get all of Everett's people to come over and partake, and we're gonna get their money. So look, again, I didn't make the laws. I didn't vote it in. I'm in recovery, so I'm not gonna be in there anytime soon. However, I still represent the people of my neighborhood, and they want one. And I've talked to the people that are affected by the zone change, and they're all for it. I think they wrote, I don't know, they wrote some letters, I think, right?
We actually have some letters to read if you.
Okay, sure, but again, you know, I'm a talker. I could talk a cat off a fish wagon on Good Friday.
We know.
I guess that's why I'm in politics, and I apologize to you guys for that. I really do. But you know, when I'm passionate about something, you know, I really go at it, and and I'm asking you, to do my neighborhood a favor. And like I said, you got my support. If it doesn't work out, I'll be the first one to say, hey, let's yank that license, it's not working. But we got an opportunity to clean up something that hasn't been cleaned up in 100 years. And you got used car lots over there. I got another empty lot to the left that I'm working on with the guy that bought that to create some stuff over there. So, I don't know, I'd just rather have you guys be part of this and be part of the solution and not part of the problem. So, I mean, I know I speak too much, so I apologize for that. And
Thank you, Counselor.
thank you very much.
Can I
for
make
your
a quick
thought.
comment?
Sure.
I feel like the city council passed this buffer requirement. You know, they passed this very stringent buffer requirement. It almost seems like they want us to be the one to make the
I agree with
decision
you.
where it is. They're asking us to
I
really
agree.
come in and make some very big decisions where we really don't have that authority.
I
And
agree.
it would seem to me that the city council would be better off letting this be a special permit matter, or, finding a way to make this a little more discretionary. Because I feel like the city council voted this in, I guess, by majority, but no member of the city council that comes from before us wants us to really enforce this buffer. Everyone has a reason why we shouldn't do it.
Right.
So you gave us your comments, I'm giving you mine.
I agree.
I just feel like this seems like it seems like the wrong approach for what you're trying to do.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I agree wholeheartedly with you. And again, I apologize for being here. I don't want to have to be here, but I wasn't here when they voted that in. I wasn't here when they voted a lot of things in. And I don't like a lot of things, and I'm going to change it. And I agree with you. They shouldn't be stuffing this on your lap. And I tried to change it. But again, I'm dealing with not what's right. I'm dealing with personalities. Someone said something about somebody on social media 6 years ago, and, that's it. So everybody suffers? So everybody suffers because of it. It's wrong. It's absolutely wrong. And I don't mean to put this burden on you, my brother. I don't. You don't need this. I know you don't. But unfortunately, it's here.
It's no burden on any of us. That's our job to hear, and I'm throwing out my comments.
Yeah, no, but it puts you in a hard spot, right? That's what you're telling me. And I agree with you. And I don't think you guys should have to have all that pressure on you. I think that they should be able to appeal it to the city council like they do on so many other things. And I think the city council, the ward councilor, I think should have a lot of say in their neighborhood, because they got the heartbeat of the neighborhood, man. So, it's a tough position for all of us. But, regardless of what comes out of here, I'm going back to work, and I've got some other avenues that I'm gonna look down to see. But again, I just want you to remember, though, that I'm talking about the social equity piece that I hear so much about since I've been back on the council. The social equity piece. You don't get any more social equity than Suffolk Square, Ward 7. Historically, you don't. But yet I see them popping up all over the place. 2 of them in Malden Square. Yeah, we need 2 of them in Malden Square. And my neighborhood, once again, gets zoned out. That's the neighborhood.
We're gonna
it's supposed
move on to the letters of
Go ahead.
opinion and
Thanks.
opposition.
Sorry, and I appreciate your comments.
Thank you.
Chairman, if I may Mr. Fevry address the board briefly?
Absolutely.
Good evening, Board. To formally introduce myself, my name is Chris Fevry. I'm CEO and co-founder of Dris. Also, I sit on the Massachusetts Cannabis Social Equity Advisory Board as State Treasurer Goldberg's appointee. This has been, my wife and I, when we started the business, I don't think we thought it would be like this. And I think that's, anytime someone gets into the cannabis industry, there's what they think it's going to be and what it actually is. And, we started this process in December of 2020, and here we are, right? And I would say, right now, went through our first, to kind of give you just a quick synopsis of history, we found our first property, we applied, went in front of the CLEC, they really liked our application. We currently have three operational cannabis licenses here in Massachusetts. We were the first company to get the marijuana courier license July 7th of 2021. We're also I never want to say we're the biggest, but we're at least, I can confidently say we're the second largest wholesale transporter in Massachusetts. And by wholesale transport, I mean we pick up product from the cultivation facilities and bring that to retail locations. And then the third license we have, which is the delivery operator license, which I advocated for through the Massachusetts Cannabis Association for Delivery, which I also co-founded back in 2021. So we've been in the cannabis space for quite a while, and the cannabis space again, I think the simplest way to say it is the Massachusetts voters voted for it, but there's still, again, that stigma, right? And in the same way, I can't talk to my mom about cannabis, but here I am having a cannabis business. And so I understand there's just when you say the word cannabis or weed, it's like, oh my God, the sky is going to fall. But there's about 300 dispensaries in Massachusetts right now, and the sky has not fallen. But during the process of legalization and getting to this point, laws were made that again, strict zoning and things that really kind of prohibited people to get into the space. And so when we applied to our first property, while we are social equity owned, majority 90% majority owned, 90% of our management team is made up of women. I want to boast, we have about 60 employees, and we're one of the most diverse cannabis companies in the state. We've had to overcome a tremendous amount of struggle to get to this point. But even specifically with Malden, after the first location, which was very difficult to find in the city, CLEC, while they liked our location, they liked our application, the location wasn't as suitable, so they said go find another location. So then we hit the pavement again, and we went to go look for another location. We got approved with that location, but then that location was directly next to an apartment complex, and while I actually spoke to a majority of those residents and they actually liked it, the owners of that complex were not favorable to us being there. And so at that point, we had to then again go out and look for a third location. By the time we found our third location, that location has gotten approved. In terms of statute, I know the statute is part of the decision-making process, but when it comes to the statute, that location, it's literally, if you look on the GIS system, it's literally a home plate, right? In terms of financial hardship, we've put in $75,000 into this project, a little more than that. Over the past 3 years, and I can't even count the amount of hours, right? And if we don't get approved here, this project's dead, right? There's no it's done. And then the third piece of that, we have every single buffer in support. They've written letters of support, they submitted it. But at this point, this is really truly gonna come up to you guys. We've, again, I think laid our best case forward. And we want to work with the city. It's something that's really important to us. Dari, who's my wife, has a lot of cousins and family who grown up in the city. And for us, like, we want to be part of the city of Malden, but again, we've been stuck in the process. And the process has led us here, and we try to work with the city council, but the politics in cannabis is the politics in cannabis. I can't control people's feelings. I would love for the zoning to be less restrictive, but here we are today. And Abe has closed down his car dealership, right? And so he's looking to retire. He's been in that location for 30+ years. And so everyone, you have city councilor at large, Councilor Hayes here in support as well, and there's multiple city councilors that do support this project. And ultimately, this is really, it's important to us. We really want to put the business there. I mean, it's the only place to put the business there. We've looked for 4 years, and there's nowhere else for us to turn. And so I hope that we can get the approval tonight. I pray that we get the approval tonight. We've tried our best, and everything's kind of really just in your hands, guys. In terms of equity, right? And as a person, I don't always try to focus on being, hey, like social equity, right? Because I learned in the cannabis space, it's just a nice little headline. We try to be the best at what we do, whether no matter what field we're in, right? Whether we're black, white, or blue, we just want to be the best, right? And that's one of our core company values is success. And I always tell people in training, you never remember who came second to Usain Bolt. You always just remember Usain Bolt won, right? You only remember Uber and Lyft. You don't remember all the little apps that came out that you tried and deleted after you got your free ride. And so for us, we want to be an example in this community, not just a social equity example, but really an example of what a successful dispensary could be. But also too, it's being that we have the social equity status, Malden gets a tax bonus, right, for us getting licensed here. So that's additional tax revenue that the city will receive. But on top of that too, we'll be serving an underserved demographic, and uniquely, because we already have the delivery licenses, those delivery licenses will be paired with the dispensary. So then we'll be able to more easily offer. I mean, we're already doing deliveries into Malden from Natick, but we'll be able to more easily serve the entire community from that location. And so, ultimately, I hope that you guys do approve us. Happy to talk about any questions you may have. And again, I know we meet the criteria based on the statute, right? Like we have a home plate location. We have the financial hardship, which if this project sinks, then we're done. And then we do have residential support, but ultimately this decision truly rests on you guys, and I hope you move us forward. So.
Thank you. So from here, we have some letters to read, so we're gonna open it up to the public, and I think what I will do is read the letters in opposition first, and then ask if anybody is sitting out here that's in opposition, have them speak, and then I will read the letters in favor and have those people speak after that. So.
Did you get the one in the envelope?
That one in the envelope matches this one. Yep. Okay. Love reading out loud.
You want to pass them off if you want to.
All right, yeah, let's split these up.
Yeah.
I'll take this one. You like reading?
Just make sure to return them for the record.
All right.
That's in an apartment complex across the street.
Okay. All right, I'll read. Actually, Catherine, you want to read this one?
Are we required to read them into the record? Because I can just as easily read through these and, you know, look through them.
That would be way better.
It's up to me, I
Just
mean,
scan them in, put them as part of the.
Your call. Okay.
that would be my request, unless
Yes.
anyone feels
Are
strongly.
any of
I
them
can-
direct abutters? I know that they said that they were all in favor, but
So, Attorney McDonald, can you just let us know the direct abutters again, their addresses, because I have,
Oh, I have to call.
Certainly, Chair, I have a moment to find my copies.
so I have 2-4 Newland, 33 Broadway, 25 Broadway, 46 Newland.
Yes, that, I,
1 second.
I have a letter from a resident at 2-4 Newland Street. I believe his name is Bernard McCole.
But who are the 4 abutters? You mentioned there were 4 abutters.
These are the 4
Okay.
properties. These 4
And they
different
all submitted
addresses
letters in favor.
are the 4 residential properties located within the 75-foot buffer zone. So one is 2-4 Newland Street, and the letter is endorsed by Bernard McCole. Another is 33 Broadway. That is endorsed by a gentleman named David Twombly. The third is from the property at 25 Broadway. That is endorsed by a gentleman named Jimmy Koch or Core or Koch. I'm not sure, that looks like K-O-K, I don't know the pronunciation. And the fourth is from resident at 46 Newhall Street. His name is John Souza. Petitioner would have no objection to the acknowledging for the record that these are essentially form letters. They are identical both in wording and format, saying the same thing, but endorsed by the residents of each of the 4 properties located within the 75-foot buffer zone.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I think the board should know that these aren't all favorable. This letter,
No, you have one in opposition, so I was going to read the ones in opposition first, but I think to speed things up, we will just make these part of the minutes and make them available online as part of the minutes
we're
from the
going to be
meeting.
voting tonight,
Okay,
and I don't think we should all think that all these letters are in favor.
nope, they're not. So, I just wanted to make sure it was the 4 abutters that were the ones that had those letters that were in favor. Would you prefer to read these letters out
Well, I
loud?
prefer to know if, how many we have that are favorable and aren't. I mean,
4 in opposition and 4 in favor for letters. That doesn't include people out here that might want to speak.
all right, just a little, yeah.
So I think that we should, in order to keep things rolling, just make these letters part of the record.
But that we, also part of the record, that we're aware that they're not all in favor.
I will say that, so the letters in opposition came from J.D. Sika, Ward 8, Neil Kinnan, John Thornburg from Malden Catholic, and 39 Broadway, which is in a butter. So if you want to hand those back to me, we'll just make those part of the record instead of reading them out loud.
I'll flip through, I'll take the time to flip through them. and
Yeah.
I'm sure people want to do the same. I just don't think we have to read them to the whole.
but
I-
39 Broadway is a direct residential abutter, and they're in opposition.
They're the condo-
There, so the petition is for 28, so they're across the street.
Yeah, I think they actually fall out of the buffer zone.
Okay,
It's, the 4 that are affected, the 4 that are, there's support, the 39 is just outside of that. So it's not a direct abutter, but by Massachusetts statute law, technically anyone that's like 5.
sorry, if you're gonna speak, you have to speak into the microphone because people on TV can't hear you.
The point my client was making, the chairman of board members, was that we have letters of support from 4 parties who are within the 75-foot buffer zone. Of course, that's not how in a butter, or not the only way in a butter is defined under Chapter 40A. I believe the other 4 letters of which the board is in receipt are from statutory abutters, in the sense that they fall within a certain, I believe 300 linear feet from the proposed location.
Correct.
But they are not parties or entities that are within the 75-foot.
Correct. Okay, so is there anyone sitting out there that would like to speak in opposition?
Or favor.
So just as you approach the microphone, just state your name and your address.
Yes, my name is Joseph J. McElroy. I'm one of the trustees at 39 Broadway, which is diagonally across from the proposed site. We have 26 owners.
So I don't want to cut you short, but we do have a letter in opposition from you already.
Okay, so you have the.
Yes.
I just want people to understand that out of 26 owners in that building, 24 signed in opposition to this proposed marijuana place. Number one.
What kind of building is this, sir?
Condo.
It's a condominium. There's 26 units in it, and it's diagonally across from where they are proposing to put it. You know, I sat here tonight and listened to our ward councilor talking about,
So I don't want to cut you short, but you did submit a letter with all of these signatures, and if you did submit a letter, we won't listen to
But he as a citizen can,
are you speaking on behalf of the condo association?
I'm one of the trustees
Okay.
of that place.
So this is who submitted the letter?
I literally dropped that off to all the members probably about a month and a half ago.
what he's saying is if you're gonna speak as a resident of Malden,
I'm speaking both as a resident / trustee
He submitted
of the
this
City
letter.
Line condominium
but
complex.
he may have other ideas.
Do you have, are you going to say something other than what's in this?
Well, I think the basic thing that I want to say is I sat here and I listened to our ward council talk about the purpose of this marijuana place being put in here, to change how it looks, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Back in 2021, when the license came up for the Mighty shop beside our building, one of the members, who I will not say who it is, but it's on tape and anybody can look and see, thought this was a great idea because it's in a blighted area and it's right on the Malden-Everett line. Everett has none. This would bring more people in, more revenue in. Well, I mean, that's not the purpose of having this law. We do not live in a blighted area. You know, everybody wants to come up here and pat themselves on the back of the way they're changing the way the place looks. We are not here tonight to find against the individual who is trying to put a place in our area. I mean, the law is the law. I mean, it affects us. 2 years ago, there used to be a bus shelter diagonally across, situated right near where they want to put this, which the homeless people were out there in droves. They had killings. They had knives, okay? They had to finally take the shelter out from this area because of the people, the population that were coming there. We're trying to avoid this happening again with the opening of a marijuana complex. I mean, we hear how the person who owns the property closed his car place. Well, he did close his car place. But did he also say that where this is located is in a place where there's currently renters using the property? I mean, we sit here and we hear one side of the story, their side. Our side is, yeah, he closed his car place, but he still has this property, which now apparently, I'm assuming people are going to get thrown out on the street, so now they can put a marijuana place there. I mean, that's a social equity problem there. But that's not for you people to determine, and I'm not putting it on your shoulders. But I mean, I sit here as a resident, as a taxpayer, and listen to a lot of this BS, and that's what I'm calling it, in nice language, of people getting up here, making themselves look great. I mean, I don't have anything else to say. I appreciate you letting me speak. I know you people will do what you have to do, and then we'll all move on. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else that would like to speak in opposition?
My name's Alicia Turner. I live at 19 Broadway, and I'm diagonally across from where they want to open this. So I'm within the what do we call it? I'm not in a butter, but I'm right there. My sister lives next door to me at 23 Broadway. She would be here tonight, but her husband's dying, so she cannot be here. But we are opposed to this. It's just going to bring a whole other element, and I'm afraid that they're going to eventually try to do, I've seen some paper articles about cannabis cafes and this and that, and I think eventually it's going to turn into that. And there's a reason why we have these rules, and there's an appeal, and we should be able to say our piece. And I'm really against it.
Thank you. Anyone else in opposition? Would anybody that did not submit a letter like to speak in favor?
Hi. Good evening, everyone. My name is Karen Cologne Hayes. I am a city councilor at large here in Malden. My address is 105 Wyoming Avenue. So I wanted to come and speak in favor, and I hope you grant the variance. It's hard to, people are starting to think of this as like a moral issue, and I understand that. There's a lot of misconceptions about what it is like living next to or like going into a cannabis shop. I am always very clear about the fact that I did vote no when this first came out on the ballot. I wasn't as educated, so I have educated myself now about everything. And my daughter, who she has lots of health issues, and cannabis is the only thing that keeps her out of pain. So she does, the fact that she can go in Malden to get something is great. She can't drive, and having options here in Malden and revenue is really helpful to us. So that's where I'm coming from, and I totally understand where other people are, but like I said, I did educate myself on that, and I go to these shops now with her, and it's just regular, everyday people. Lots of seniors, actually, trying to get out of pain. That's who I see there. So I'm gonna try and I will work with Councilor Simonelli. I also was not on the city council when this ordinance was passed, so I understand where you're coming from also. We need to work on our side, but I would love to have a social equity cannabis shop open here in Malden. Again, we need it for so many different reasons, but definitely for people that are in pain and need cannabis and don't want to leave the city for it. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Anyone else that would like to speak in favor? Not seeing anyone. Okay, so at this point, we're going to close the public comment and discuss amongst ourselves unless someone would like to go ahead and make a motion.
Are these all the letters?
Yes. There's 2 copies. Opposition
I do have a question.
and in favor.
Sorry. I do have a question just for the.
You don't think you're on, hang on. You're flashing. There you go.
Thanks. Just for the applicant, what is the current use of the lot? Like, is it currently occupied or just vacant?
Well, the current or recently discontinued use of that property was as a Class 2 used car dealership. The holder of that license has ceased operations. I don't know exactly when that occurred, but it's not being used now for anything, basically.
That there are 2 apartments, he
Well,
had 2 apartments.
Member King, you're correct, I forgot about that. I do not know from personal knowledge, I assume that whoever is occupying those residential units at that property, if anyone, that they continue to, it's utilized as a, and the structure itself really looks like a 2-family home more than a conventional business address, but there are residential units inside. I do not know if they're currently occupied right now or not, but I do know that the commercial use has discontinued for some time. Do you
Yeah.
have any knowledge on that, Chris?
Yeah, guys, for the comment, I know Abe wants to say a few things as well.
The owner of the property is present as well, if the board's inclined to hear from him on that question.
Yeah, but we are required by the statute that the sole use of the property, once you put a retail location, has to be, that, you know, you can't have residential units above, above a dispensary. So, we have already spoken to the residents who are living there. They are aware and they are watching the process and they completely understand, but also Abe can touch upon their longtime friends of his. They were employees at the car dealership, and so, yeah. Abe, you want to say?
The owner of the property.
Hello, my name is Abe Jeha. I own the gas station next door to where the proposed cannabis shop is. I've been there for 30 years, and I've been at Greenleaf Auto Sales for 27 years. I shut down my business because I don't want to continue selling cars. It's been a grind since the corona started. I have 2 apartments upstairs. None of them has a lease, and both tenants are informed and aware of that they have to leave within 60 days in case this goes through. And no one has a lease, and there's no children that lives in any of the apartments. And I will not continue to sell cars in the city of Malden. I'm not going anywhere except retiring from this business that took my life away almost. Seriously. I'm looking to retire and lease it out, and that's all what I'm trying to do. And clean up the neighborhood. If that goes through, I promise this board and the city of Malden, I'm going to clean up the gas station next door, and I'm going to make it look really nice and clean so I can clean the operation and I can retire happily. That's all I'm trying to do. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions from the board?
I just have comments. I'll try to do this right this year. Just on something that Attorney Sherwin was saying, that, you know, that the city council has approved an ordinance that, you know, we've already had issues with before. I mean, and our job isn't to change their ordinances. Our job is to, unless there's a legitimate reason, we enforce them, we uphold them. I've heard a lot of things tonight, you know, about the ordinances. The city council has had 2 months to make some kind of progress on the ordinance, and they have chosen not to do that. Because at the last meeting, we heard that it was possible that it could be done within that time. So far, we've seen, you know, nothing on that front. You know, we've heard about tax revenues. Not our job is to increase the city's tax revenues, even though if it lowered my taxes, I would be happy that they could do that. We heard that they can get rid of it, they can get rid of the license, but I mean, easier said than done, I think, and as you know, our variances last forever. I mean, if we grant this variance for this site, the next person down the road is going in and saying, well, you've already granted a variance for the city's zoning law on that regard. And we don't, you know, what are we gonna do? I mean, we've already turned someone down with for similar reasons that we've had. We've got people that are tenants, whether they're tenants at will, I'm sorry, but if they're tenants at will, they're still tenants, they still are living, this is their home, you know, and they're going to have to be evicted because of this. This is not a commercial building, it was commercial and residential, and now that's gonna be made all commercial. Now, whether the city wants that to happen, they're looking for increasing housing in the city of Malden and housing at reasonable prices. I have no idea what these rents are at this place, but I mean, our approving this variance would evict 2 people or 2 families. I don't know how many people, but it would be, You know, for all those reasons, and I think more particularly that it shouldn't be our place to make changes this quickly to an ordinance that has just been passed by the city council, whether quickly or slowly. I mean, they've had their time to make the ordinance the way they want. They've also now had a second chance at it for 2 months, and it hasn't happened. And I mean, I think we should, the lot may be a little different shape, but I mean, the fact is that it's still just across the street from residential housing. I mean, it's not, and it's not like it's the only marijuana place in Malden. Malden already has some. I have no idea. I think our chairman of the board may be able to tell us, no, behind you, who's chairman of the marijuana licensing, I think it is, could tell us how many places we have, but it's not necessarily, we know there's more than one in Malden already, so if Malden wants to change the ordinance, they can change the ordinance, but it's not our job, I don't think, to change that ordinance.
I think you bring up a good point that we did have a hearing with a very similar situation, and we came to some resolution, and I think we need to be consistent with how we approach this based on that first resolution. Otherwise, we're not helping anyone moving forward. So I agree. If we had already said it should be a special permit process, we're not here to determine whether 75 feet is a reasonable distance. It's something that the city councilors made up, then we should be consistent with that for this hearing. Unfortunately, we want businesses to thrive, but we don't make the zoning.
So, based, if you would accept the motion,
I would.
I move that we deny the request for the variance.
I'll second that.
A motion from John King, second by Adam Sherwin, to deny this variance. We'll take a roll call, and Logan? Vote to deny?
I vote to deny.
Yes. Chu?
I vote to deny.
To deny. King?
Deny.
Sherwin?
Yes.
Kramer?
Yes.
Okay. All in favor of the, to deny this petition? 5-2-0. So,
Denied.
so petition 24-001 has been denied.
Thank you.
Good job.
Come on back, Chief. So petition number 3 tonight is petition 24-003 by Roman Catholic Archbishop of Boston seeking a variance under Code of the City of Malden as amended, Title 4, Section 4.16.090, B2C, regulation of signs by district specifically for non-residential uses or building identification. 1 projecting sign per ground floor establishment and 1 projecting sign per building entrance serving 1 or more commercial tenants without a ground floor entrance may be permitted, provided each sign shall not exceed 12 square feet in area per sign face as per plans SGER-061388-2023 at the property known as and numbered 30 Irving Street, Malden, Mass., and also known by City Assessor's Parcel ID 075-272-212. Who's here for this?
Hello,
Hello.
I'm here representing representing the Shepherd.
Can you just speak close to, like, you can pull that too, that moves.
I'm here representing the Chevrolet School at 30 Irving Street. They would like to add banners to the exterior of the building,
The
Is there
banners,
names?
2 of them. I have drawings, I don't know if anybody, I have copies if you wanted to take a look.
Could I get your name for the record, please?
Patricia Rossetti.
Thank you.
Brought some copies.
So we do have pictures here.
Yeah,
I'm fine, I don't need any copies.
Yep.
It shows banners they want to add.
I have one already.
Thank you.
So these are, it looks like an awning too, or,
No, the awning was approved and already installed.
okay. So we're looking at the banners that are on the sides of the building,
on the front.
the front.
They would be on the
Sorry,
front of the building.
But they're hanging off the, yeah, hanging off the front.
So you know, if you have a presentation, do you have some more that you want to talk about before I ask?
No,
They're not taking down any banners or
they're not
signs
taking, there's
or-
no existing banners, no.
Okay, because I mean, how many are there now?
None.
Signs, how many signs?
Signs. They have,
How many signs? They have one main sign on the front of the building.
they have 2 signs. They have one at the top that was built
Oh,
when
the-
the building was on there. They have the second blue one. They have the awning that has their name on it. They have one at the corner of Route 60, and I have pictures.
Okay.
They have this one on the Ferry Street side of the building. They have, this is a picture of the 3 signs now on the main building.
Would you buy a new Polaroid?
Oh, this is done by camera, my phone. And here's the one on the next building on Ferry Street. And where am I missing the one? Oh, I know, that came out big. I don't know what happened with that one. And that's the one on the corner of Ferry and Route 60, which has actually got a sign and a banner, which I didn't count the banner, because I thought maybe they'd taken it down. And they want 2 more.
They do.
So that would be, what, 8? I mean, I think the sign ordinance is a little excessive anyway, but it's restricted.
I agree, I'm not sure it's something that should be coming in front of us in the first place. Nelson, did you want to explain anything about the signs that are in existence as opposed to the ones that they are, that they would like to put up?
I know, the signs get confusing and they're tough. So all the signs that the building currently has are all allowed. Our sign ordinance has numbers of signs that are allowed based off the type of sign. So a wall sign, you're allowed so many of a certain size. A window sign, you're allowed so many of a certain size. These are considered projecting signs because they're banners projecting off the building. So you're allowed so many of a certain size. So it's really just the fact that they want an extra one that you're addressing this evening.
And the size?
The size, I believe the size was okay.
It's 20 square feet.
When it was,
Oh, I'm sorry, the size isn't okay. No, the size is also larger than what's allowed. So it's the size and the number of them. But
So-
the other signs don't come into play with it.
but the 8 signs are okay.
I'm just saying the rules for the other signs allow those signs to be there, that's all.
Okay. Just wondering.
So one of these would be okay if it was the right size, the projecting out signs? If there was one of them and it was the right square footage, she wouldn't be here tonight. Yeah. But there's 2 of them and they're both larger than what's allowed. So that's what's before you this evening.
Might be a good idea.
And also, so this is a banner, like a vinyl banner. This isn't a lit. When you say projecting, it was throwing me off. When you say projecting, now I'm thinking an LED scrolling.
No, projecting meaning perpendicular to the building.
Yeah.
Like a blade sign.
Right.
Like we have here on Pleasant
So
Street.
it's a banner, and this is gonna be a permanent banner?
Yes. No,
Tied up there with rope or something, or bolted on with,
brackets.
okay.
Yeah.
I'll let her
They'll be attached to the building with Hilti mechanical brick anchors.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the reason why they need 10 signs instead of just 8?
I'm sorry?
The reason why they need 10 signs instead of just 8?
Well,
I'm not
8
sure
are
about-
allowed.
Well, I know, but this, well, one would think maybe 8 would be enough, you know, as opposed to 10.
You sure?
Just saying, all right?
Was there any discussion, if they were denied here tonight, whether they would install just a single banner of the right size?
I haven't discussed that with them, no.
One thing I noticed driving by there is the 8 signs that you do have are all low. So if you're driving by, you don't necessarily, if there's
It's right
traffic.
at the top of the building.
I would say that one's kind of hard to see
Yeah,
because it's
It is.
etched in the
It's an
stone.
architectural, like,
It's part of the art
element,
structure.
yeah.
Yeah.
But the big blue one that's down 1 story is visible.
It looks like they're proposing two to be symmetrical. It's a historic building. They maybe are thinking about
Maybe.
the look, but I would not say it's gonna help the visibility of the signs.
Maybe if either way, if we could get rid of a sign or 2 and then replace them with a couple of signs, something. I mean, but just we keep adding signs. I mean,
Why are you adding more signs?
she doesn't,
More visibility would be my guess.
I mean, it's a corner, it's kind of like on a corner, so I mean,
there's signs on
both sides,
both
yeah.
sides. This is, that's on Ferry, that one's on Ferry. This one's on Ferry. This one's on the corner of Ferry and Route 60.
I mean,
I mean,
yeah.
I think they should stick with 12, what is it, 12 square feet? I'm not, 12 square feet? One at 12 square feet, and then they don't have, because
So that would be like 6 feet long by 2 feet
it
tall.
would be very visible, probably.
Yeah.
I think,
So you'd have a non-visible sign.
but I think we've got a lot of, yeah, what I'm saying is that there's a lot of visible signs right now,
Yeah.
I think. I mean, and again,
I mean, I've got eyes.
Can I see those pictures, John?
I can put these into record, if you wish.
I mean, I drive by it all the time, but
Yeah, if you're local, you know what it is. You don't need a sign.
Well, if not, they have the little ones too. See, I didn't count those. I didn't count the little ones they put on the fence.
You're kind of like the PI tonight. Huh?
yeah.
Well, I just didn't know how many, it seemed like,
So-
I know it was there, and
So this picture, is that the proposed sign?
no.
That's already
That's
there?
where it's going to
I
be.
think it's, you can
No.
really
So they already
see-
have one
That's already
there.
there.
So you're just replacing a sign?
No,
No, these are
adding
banners.
to.
These would go on the
Yeah.
exterior of the building.
I think that's right there. So a 2-foot by 10-foot sign above the blue wooden sign that's on the front of the building.
Correct.
But 2 by 20 foot or something.
120 inches, right?
2 feet by, how long are they gonna be? You wish them?
120 inches.
10, yeah. 2 by 10.
120 inches. Yeah, 10 feet. So 2 feet by 10 feet.
So their description and their variance criteria says relief could be granted as the banners will help visitors locate the premises.
I mean, if you pull up the Google map, there is kind of like a playground and parking lot that's
That's
like,
their playground.
right, but the building's a little bit set back and the sign isn't like, the current sign isn't the most like eye-catching.
Well, they have one at the, on the fence of the playground, behind the fence of the playground, or no, it's in front of the fence of the playground. I showed that picture.
Yeah.
And they also have one on Ferry Street.
But if you're
But
driving
the side of
down,
the building, if you're coming down Ferry Street, there's a sign.
I'm
This big.
intimately familiar with
There.
it.
Can I take
I'd just like to point out, typically if you have two blade signs, they're being directed different ways for different views, whereas the two here doesn't seem like it's actually critical to make people aware, because they're gonna be seen from the same vantage points, so I don't see a huge justification for the location at least. I could see a justification if it's two different locations with different vantage points, and they're saying that that's needed. That makes sense.
I mean, these for the traffic, these are gonna be, people are gonna see the edges of them, I mean, for the most part. I mean, they won't really see them.
Right, a corner of the building would be a lot more prominent and visible,
Yeah.
which maybe isn't what they want to see, but that would make more sense. So they could choose to put one there without coming in front of us, I guess.
Just one.
Yeah, I think if they weren't so high up, they wouldn't need to be as large. If it were slightly lower, it'd be easier to read a 12 square foot sign.
Nelson, I have a question. So if they had an awning with the name on it,
They do.
is that considered a sign? Or is that just an awning with? the
Awnings
name?
are addressed in our sign ordinance, they're a separate thing.
Okay,
So they don't get counted against the number of signs or the square footage of signs. Or, it's a little more involved in that, but an awning doesn't count against your wall sign square footage, and it wouldn't count against your projecting sign square footage. Those are separate things from each other.
thank you.
Oh, quick question. Would they need a variance if they did like a flat sign? Like if they did the same location, but it was like banners hanging like flush against the building instead of like projecting out like a blade sign?
Yes.
So if it's a permanent sign, it's against the building, that becomes a wall sign. You're then only allowed so many signs and so many square footage per frontage or per parking lot. So I can't answer that without doing some math.
Okay.
My gut tells me that they already have the amount of wall signage they'd be allowed. But I don't know that for sure.
In my opinion, it just looks all very temporary. Not so much the blade signs that are being proposed, but the one that's there. And then, so the Sacred Hearts Parish School, like, why isn't that also an awning that just says that instead of having the banner?
That's been there a long time, that banner.
Yeah.
And that's on the Foley Hall, whatever it is.
Right.
That's not, I don't know what they use that.
But that would minimize the number of signs they currently have and match. Because they already have a banner on another door,
You know?
or an awning with the name on one door. Put an awning with the name on another door, and you can take this banner down, you'd have one less sign.
There's a lot of discussion about signs right now.
Yeah.
What do we want to do?
It doesn't seem like anyone is speaking in favor, and I'm wondering if we want to recommend that they withdraw without prejudice, and if they want to take some of these comments and think them over, or?
I think they should rethink maybe. That's a lot of signs. I mean,
I don't think we should hear these at all,
well,
in my opinion, but
guess what?
it does look like a lot of, to me, it's a lot of banners, a lot of signs, and some of them look temporary, and how many, like, I don't know, it's starting to look kind of gaudy to me,
Yeah, I
in my
think
opinion.
my problem is the logic and the location and the orientation, so I think we don't want to deny you if the intent is to try to do something that's going to help the visibility, but maybe if you want to withdraw without prejudice, they could think a little bit more about the design and the intent and argument, behind needing the two.
Maybe get some, you know, a newer style that they can, you know, maybe reduce the numbers
Reduce the number of signs.
and do, I don't know, a bigger sign somewhere. that-
Don't they fall within the guidelines for signage?
They do, but maybe you can redesign it for them.
Well, the 8 that they have are allowed, though, so,
But they could,
Is there a limit to the number of signs?
yes, there is.
What is it?
Nobody knows. He does, right back there, but
At
it has
least
to do
8.
with.
It depends on the type of sign, it sounds like.
It has to do with math,
Yeah.
and his calculator isn't here right now, so.
I think the sign ordinance made sense, because there are too many signs in the city. The problem is everyone has a reason why the sign ordinance doesn't apply to them. And I think that there is a much better way to approve these things. It shouldn't really be through variance, but here we are stuck with it. And I've been saying that for, I think, 5 years.
So if you were to withdraw without prejudice, ask us to allow it, you can come back. If we vote on it and turn it down, it's 2 years.
So it would have to be redesigned to fall within the guidelines.
Yeah,
No, you can redesign and try to push beyond what's required, but I think what we're saying is we don't necessarily see there's a justification to give you a variance for this.
Okay, understood.
So if you redesign or re-argue, collect a different argument, locations could move, maybe we'd be inclined to see it in a different way.
talk to the man in black, and maybe he can give you some ideas.
Okay.
But you're the advertising person, right? You're from the sign company?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, you know what they need. Sell them.
right, so
Wait,
we actually need to, so you actually, if you'd like to withdraw without prejudice,
Just to make the request.
yeah, you just request it and then we have to vote on it.
Just request it right now?
Yeah,
Okay, I'd like to withdraw without
without prejudice.
without prejudice.
Would somebody like to motion to approve that request?
Motion to approve the request by Shevers to withdraw without prejudice.
I'll second.
Motion by Froyo, second by Bilgan to accept the request to withdraw without prejudice. Call the roll. Sherwin?
Yes.
King?
Yes.
Bilgan?
Yes.
Froyo?
Yes.
Thank you. Kramer?
Yes.
Thank you. All in favor of the request to withdraw the petition without prejudice has been granted.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next petition, 24-004. Is it Fuchs? How do I say this last name?
Yeah, it's Fuchs.
Okay. So petition 24-004 by Jared Fuchs seeking a variance under Code of the City of Malden as amended, Title 12, MCC 12.16.070G, yard requirements for all districts, specifically side yard setback less than 6 feet as per plans, RES 063-744-2024 at the property known as and numbered 48 Pagum Street, Malden, Mass., and also known by City Assessor's Parcel ID 137-803-313. And this is for the garage. You want to extend it 5 feet?
Yeah, so when we bought the house almost 2 years ago now, we didn't actually measure, and so the car doesn't fit in the garage. Like, I can't close the door when I drive
Really?
it all the way in. I know, right?
Isn't it 21 feet deep? How big's a Prius?
It's like, it just hits the back of the car. And I would prefer not to have to squeeze every single time.
Is there something else in there?
Currently, there's the sauna that we're planning on moving out, but otherwise, no.
Okay.
Did you say a
Wait a minute.
sauna?
Yeah,
My
the previous
truck is
owner had
not
a
21 feet long, so the Prius definitely is. But,
Yeah.
okay, now it makes more sense.
No, the sauna's on another side, though.
Oh, okay.
It's a two-car garage. I could, try and get in on one side, but doesn't really close, and then the song's on the other side. Sorry.
Okay, and I'm sorry, did you state your name and address when you?
I did not, sorry.
Okay.
My name is Jared Fuchs. I live at 48 Peckham Street. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
And this is my wife, Jenny, I guess I should say.
Hi.
So am I correct that the garage is not gonna go increase the side setback? Is that?
No,
just
we
gonna-
want to just pull it forward so
Yeah.
that we can just get some more room.
And you said about 5 feet forward?
That's the plan.
It is going to increase the side setback.
Well, it's not gonna go further in, right?
Yeah, it's currently 2.8
They're
feet from.
increasing the nonconformity by 5 feet.
Yeah, but I'm saying it's not gonna increase the side setback violation, though, it's gonna follow along the side.
Same line,
Yeah.
it looks like, yeah.
It's going to be parallel with the existing
Yeah.
edge.
It is a little, it looks like it's gonna be a little tighter. But I mean, inches.
Forgive me, I don't know what's on the other side of that property line next to your garage. Is that someone's backyard, or is it?
Yeah, it's a fence and then a backyard for the neighbor.
Partly the neighbor's garage.
Yeah, and the neighbor's garage is right on the other side of that fence, yeah.
Nope.
So we're not dealing with anything else like lot
Yeah,
coverage?
just that way. Just, you're only extending it one way.
Yep.
Yeah. We're just looking at an aerial.
The extension's gonna be north, right? North of the north part of the garage?
I don't remember the orientation. It's towards Peckham Street.
Yeah.
No, they're going this way. So here's the house, they're
Yeah.
going this way.
That's what I meant,
Yeah.
so the extension's gonna be going north,
Correct.
right?
Is the roof gonna be taller, or are you trying to match the,
No, we're just going to match the existing one.
Actually goes down.
Yeah, it slopes down. But, yeah, we need to extend that as well. But it's not going to be any taller.
I think Prius is 15 feet long.
I know, I looked that up because I knew you were going to look it up.
Prius is, what else is in there?
Like I said, there's a sauna on the other side.
I got a picture.
Oh, you got a picture, great.
It nearly bumps the back wall and then would be really difficult to close the door, let alone walk around.
I don't know, you sure it's 21 feet deep?
I mean, that's what it,
Outside to outside.
Priuses are not.
Space that actually
Outside to outside.
there's a thickness of the wall that also takes up 2 of those feet if it's
Yeah, but
CMU?
it's 4 inch, it's 2x4 construction probably.
It's old.
Oh, it's not
It's an old
CMU?
garage.
It doesn't look like it from the Google Maps, it's kind of.
Oh, well, my garage is 19 feet deep, and you have to touch your bumper to the CMU
Yeah.
wall if you want to get your full car in, so
Yeah, this is a Prius.
a Prius, yeah, okay.
You have
Well, I think
a,
we
you
have,
have a large car.
take your pick, which one are you talking about?
Yeah.
I'm curious if we have any letters of support or
None that I know
neighbors.
of, none. No,
Have you
No.
talked to your next door neighbor and reviewed your plan with them?
no, we didn't, I was under the impression that like the city would reach out. I know I had one neighbor, I was gonna say, yeah, we had the neighbor that wouldn't be affected or not on that side, ask us about it. But, yeah,
but the direct abutter didn't, because against their garage, they're only gonna see a couple feet of it.
So you're not using the garage at all, except for sauna?
currently, I'm parking outside of the garage. I would like to be inside.
My bike is in there.
Yeah.
The bike's in there? Is that your other car?
How big's your bike? I'm joking, I'm joking.
Don't answer that, it's not necessary.
It's a nice bike.
I will say that I know a typical garage would be 22 feet deep.
24.
Well, new
24 by 24 is a pretty typical two-car
Pretty typical
garage.
now, if
Yeah.
you can get it, but even 22 by 22, you wouldn't see 19, or 20, what is it now, 21?
21.
Yeah.
And what's the width on that?
19. Well, do we want to see if anyone in the audience is here to speak about this?
Was anybody here to speak in opposition or in favor of this project? And we have no emails or letters or anything like
So
that.
your direct abutter, if by chance you're approved tonight, would have a number of days where they could object if they hadn't already heard for some reason. It would be nice if we had known that they had heard. The property will now have an extra 5 feet, so 3 feet of their property line.
If you look at the aerial view, so if I'm standing with my back to the garage, like, so my back is facing the inside of the garage, and you look to your right, it looks like their garage is a couple feet. So if you looked right at the neighbor's garage, it would be a couple feet of their garage that you would see.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like offset.
So they're, right now, they can see the other garage, but
So-
if they add on the 5 feet, they see less of that garage.
Their garage might extend a little bit past their
Past that,
garage, but it's not gonna be 5 feet.
Okay, I
Yeah,
see.
it looks like 2 or 3 feet.
Any other questions or comments from the board?
If they got a smart car, we wouldn't be.
I guess I'll
Do you
just
drive
say,
a
I
smart
feel
car?
like we've approved similar petitions
Yeah.
based on them not being any more or less non-conforming than this proposal.
You have to say it out loud.
I don't know, I don't want to overstep here. So a motion to approve the, changes to your garage.
I'll second that based on it not being any more non-conforming than the current garage. So don't go closer than the current setback that you have.
Of course.
Okay,
Yep.
all right. Motion by Pauyo, second by Bilgan to approve, this petition. Roll call, Sherwin?
Yes.
King?
Yes.
Bilgan?
Yes.
Thank you. Pauyo?
Yes.
Kramer?
Yes.
All in favor? Petition is granted.
Great, thank you so much.
Thank you. So, and like they said, your neighbor does have some time to,
Yeah.
of course, but just letting you know. So I think they can't just start tomorrow, right?
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah. All right.
great.
Thank
Thank you so
you.
much.
Okay, the next and final petition, 24-005 by Ben Nye, is it Nye? N-I-E? Nee? Seeking a variance under Code of City of Malden as amended, Title 12, MCC 12.16.010, Table of Intensity Regulations, specifically violation of rear yard setback and coverage, principal building as per plans RES 062441-2023, at the property known as and numbered 48 Wyoming Ave, Malden, Mass., and also known as City Assessor's Parcel ID 010073315. How are you tonight?
I'm good. Good evening. Good evening, board. Yeah. My name is Benny. I live at 48 Wyoming Avenue. I have this house for over 20 years.
Over 20 years?
Yes.
Yep.
And
I'm sorry, I can't hear him when you guys are talking. Sorry.
And once it happened last year is have a minor fire in front of my porch around March 2023, and then they've damaged some window and wall. Per fire department report, there's unknown fire condition. Based on that, I considering take out some most of my saving to remodel this two-family house. So basically, this house was built over 100 years, and a lot of us not complying with the current living standard in terms of the size of the bedroom and then the position of the kitchen. So all these things, right, need to reposition and then knock out some of the bedroom wall and become a family room and living room. So this is one of the big project. And additionally, the one problem is back of this house, there's the cinder block concrete garage. And right on the corner, there's tree like a stump, pretty much attached to the garage. You know, it's I believe before we cut the tree, it's over 100 years old. You know, it's very huge, and then right now it's keep growing the weed, and we consider the potential hazard down the road in terms of insect growth and then how to manage in the area. So I'm considered that's a part of the project. I have to, in order to make this two-family house look nice and meet our modern living standard, I consider have to be, this is one of the hazards we want to take care of. So that's why, you know, I get apply for the approval to demolish the garage and then take out, so that we can take out this tree stump, huge tree stump, you know. That will I consider, like, as an owner, I consider this is kind of destroy the value of my property, kind of without building anything on top of that. So I consider, like, as a part of this remodel project, I want to extend my first floor unit and take out a portion of the garage space as considered as a bedroom. So basically, the drawing is, if you look at it, is I will not extend over the current garage area. It's pretty much I have to set back from the current garage footprint, for on the side of the yard, it will be set back at 3.2 feet off the current position. So I have consulted with the inspection department since the idea come to my mind, and then I get some of the guidance to get like a plot plan drawing, and then the architecture drawing, and then that kind of thing, right? So it's the whole process that come to the day, you know, it's almost a year, but I think I'm well worth it because planning well, and with this area, with this house will become a lovely place to stay, or either myself or on the future family, modern family. So I also talked to my abutter and neighbor. They all support that. Of course, I don't know, somebody sent you an email or mail or something, I don't know, but I did talk to them, you know, they kind of support the idea, because eventually it benefit my neighbor abutter, because nobody want to stay in the tree trunk there, and over the years getting rot and then causing a problem, right? So I think the money I will spend, and then will benefit myself and benefit the modern and benefit my abutter. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Any questions, or did everybody understand what's going on?
So I drove by this afternoon. There's the garage there. You're gonna knock that down and do a real foundation?
Yes, because really there is no way, because before the person cut the tree, right now the tree trunks, they are pretty much as high as the garage, because at that time, I asked them if you can cut lower, so they were like, cannot do that. When they cut it, and then could be damage to the garage, basically, that's not good, right? So they don't willing to do that. Right now, it becomes a hazard, It's growing all the weed over there, and it's very difficult to managing, and that kind of thing.
And the garage is right on the property line, right? Or
Correct,
yeah,
correct.
It's right there.
Close, it's very close, yes.
I think it says here that they're gonna, on the garage, it says use existing foundation.
But the one side have to be set back. Yeah, I don't want to go extend too far, because I want to align the main house on the one side.
So it's gonna be I think you said 1 to 2 feet
3.2 feet off.
from where the garage is now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For just that space will become like I'll put the lawn there or something like that. So,
Yeah. It'll be more like a shed or something.
No.
A log, you said a log there?
No, I will put the seed and lawn become a
Oh,
lawn.
lawn, yeah, okay. So where it is now, so it's gonna be a couple feet closer.
3.2 feet push back.
Is it increasing the setback,
Yes.
It is?
No, it's decreasing the violation.
Decrease, yeah.
But the height of the existing structure is gonna be
It's
lower
it
than
will
the
be-
addition.
It will be lower, because right now, I only extend for the, pretty much I will extend just for the first floor, extend out, so that will be lower than the current garage size, garage height. Yeah.
So he's decreasing it
Oh,
in everything.
it's not two-story addition, it's just the
No,
bedroom
no,
on the
One-story
ground
addition,
floor.
and it's gonna be further from the property line than the garage currently is.
Okay.
So the variance is for, what is the variance?
So he's still not meeting the setback for the rear,
Yeah.
but he's lessening because it's not gonna be right on it like the garage is now. It's not gonna be quite that far.
But the lot coverage for the primary structure is also a reason why he's here, because usually you get an accessory structure as separate
The garage is
percent of
currently
lot coverage.
connected, right?
The garage, yeah, it's still.
Currently
garage.
connected to the house.
It doesn't look like it from the plan.
No. So that's a different, like, percentage of the lot you can
Oh, okay.
cover versus a primary. I'm just speaking from memory here.
If I can, if I can
Yes.
read it, it's, the variation is for rear yard setback, coverage, principal building.
So what does that mean by the cover? I wasn't clear about that. What's the?
The lot coverage. Nelson, would you like to explain this, since you're waving?
Yes, thank you. I don't want you to get too far down the road. Well, Catherine said it, so there's a, in our zoning intensity table, there's coverage allowed for the principal building, and then there's coverage allowed for accessory structures. Currently, you have a principal building, and you have an accessory structure, which is the garage. They're obviously been there forever and grandfathered. Garage is coming down, so now there's no accessory structure anymore. It's an extension of the principal building, which is a single-family home. So the lot coverage that's allowed is the percentage of the square footage of the building to the square footage of the lot. So what's proposed is a first floor of 1,150 square feet, and the lot is 2,775 square feet. So that means the lot coverage of the principal structure will be 41.1%, and 30% is allowed. So there's an 11% violation of that, and then there's the rear yard and side yard setback violations that you guys are addressing tonight.
And I don't know if I saw it on here, but how many square feet is the lot?
2,775. It's small.
Yeah.
He would be allowed to rebuild it as is, though, correct?
The garage?
Yeah.
Yes.
And the home itself, the home itself, is he?
The home and the garage could be constructed in the same dimensions, in the same location.
Yeah.
But you can't add on to it.
And the number of bedrooms that are currently proposed in the new plan isn't triggering any parking requirement
I
violation?
believe he worked with one of our building inspectors to make sure that the current bedrooms match the new bedrooms, so he didn't have that issue.
Okay.
And the fire chief may remember this is the only time in Malden that there was a fire that was a violin on the front porch. Right? Yeah.
Was he playing it?
He was after.
Not when I got there.
That was on Monday, but I just installed it.
Any other questions or comments from the board?
So right now, you have a kitchen on the third floor?
Yeah, that's why, I mean, all the things have to be repositioned, basically,
Yeah,
yes.
so you're gonna move that down to the.
Yeah, bring it out to
Second
second floor,
floor.
yes, yes.
And you're going to be taking away one bedroom?
Two room, I will, basically, the wall on the second floor, you take out two bedroom wall from the second floor, and so that it become one is become a kitchen, and then one become a family room, yes.
And then on this. Second.
candy?
Small brown thing.
That might hurt. It's like the cinnamon lemon.
Sure.
Thank you. So looks like he's still reviewing it.
Speaking against it.
Nobody is speaking against it or in favor of it.
I think it's a little hard to approve building a primary structure on a property line. It's a little different than an accessory building that's not being used as a bedroom, so I'm a little taken back. I don't think we've dealt with this before. Any petition that was similar, taking down a garage and replacing it with a primary structure addition. Does anyone remember?
I don't recall one.
Would you renovate without building that extra bedroom on the first floor?
That bedroom, right, I mean, I really not intention is adding the bedroom. I just position and remove, take out the wall from, couple wall from the upstairs, the bedroom, so that that would not become a bedroom. So the position on the back of the house is usually considered as good for the bedroom. That's why I picked that piece as a bedroom. But it's not really like increase the bedroom for the unit, so, yeah.
I don't think he understood your question.
Yeah, I'm struggling with the idea of you adding on the first floor all the way to the property line.
Yes, yes.
And so I'm wondering if you'll still go through with the renovation without that part of the renovation? Or if that's critical to.
That become hard, right? Because I don't want to keep the, I spend all the money to renovate the main house, but there's some hazard on the back of my house right next to the back of my house, so it become like not a good position to doing that way, right? So, and also like if I say, oh yeah, I can demolish the garage and we apply for make a garage, but this day, right, the garage is not really like a preferred property in the house because the people go to more like transportation and Uber, that kind of a thing. You know, it's a kind of it's a different from like I would say the garage maybe 100 years, or 80 years. I would say that right now the people thinking about the houses have a good living space, up-to-date standard, that kind of thing. Not consider the garage is a more value. So that's why I don't think I will make a new garage. I don't think I will do that. So.
I haven't been in there. I don't know how big the basement is. I mean, they can do it, if they had the height in the basement, they could put a bedroom there. That wouldn't affect the coverage.
Well, the issue isn't the bedrooms, though.
What?
The issue's not the bedrooms.
No,
Well,
the
if
issue
he
is not
builds it on the back, if he builds onto the back, if he needs another bedroom, I'm trying to find him a place to put a bedroom without adding to the building.
Yeah, I'm just seeing these large closets that maybe aren't necessary and that would pull that bedroom addition off of the property line, at least to do a 3 or 5 foot setback, which I think is maybe a little more reasonable.
She's so smart at this stuff.
I mean, it's nice to have sort of this little mudroom area off the back steps, but I don't know if anyone else thinks that 3 or 5 feet off the property line is a little more reasonable.
the calculations for the coverage, do you? No,
It's 41%, I believe.
Yeah.
41%? So if we took,
It's supposed to be 30.
if we took 5 feet off of that, that would make it, well, we added that there, but you moved it in. See, the 2 bedrooms, one of these is for the, I mean, you could make a small one.
You can make this 2 feet deep and then pull this 3 feet off the property line, is what I was thinking at least.
3
at
feet
minimum.
off, and then it's, how much would that decrease square footage? Is that
Oh,
13? Is that 13?
This is-
Oh, the length, yeah, it's 13, I think, 3 by 13. Is that 36?
36.
Oh, no, 39, 39 square feet. 3 times 13 would be 39.
And it's 26. It's 2,000 square feet living area total now. So we took,
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a really tight, small lot. There's definitely reason to try to,
keep some space in it.
yeah, but I do think at least 3 feet from the property line would be, I think, a nice feature for the neighbors as well as the property to be able to maintain and protect the house a little bit from abutters.
What's directly behind?
There's another
Someone's backyard.
house, driveway. I don't think it was a garage.
Right,
No one was
so this,
allowed.
this side's, you know,
Yeah.
you can argue that this
It was
is
just a wall
conforming with
on the
that.
driveway,
Driveway.
like
Oh,
like it was an
the
old garage or something.
I want to suggest that he redesign with a 3-foot setback, but I don't know if anyone would support that petition if it came back in front of us based on what you're seeing.
What is the rear setback requirement?
I thought it was 20, 25 feet or something. 20 feet. But since it's a single-story addition, it's no taller than the garage that's there. And so it'd be
garage
less
is-
coverage than the garage.
The
and-
garage is no setback.
yeah.
It's right, I think you see it's right there, that's the wall, I think it's just a driveway. There's like a 4 or 5 foot wall separating the driveways and the existing garage. You know, and it goes about halfway up, you see it?
I don't know, maybe it's complicating things. The stair would have to be redesigned too, but.
What's the, not the,
The second one's a feature?
yeah, but that would just,
The extra treads, or, well, this
Well, that would
this
stay
comes
this-
forward, then you're losing.
I mean, they're attaching it, that's all there, right?
I guess the stair could be in the,
Maybe they just have to support it. It's up to the contractor.
Here to the lot line,
I mean, are
16.
you worried about the
It's up
property
to you
line, or is
to-
it just me?
No, I don't like,
Yeah.
I don't like things going right up.
And the garage is
It's
right
gonna
on
be
that.
a house part, because once it's there, then they, even if it's 1 story, then it's 2 stories without.
Yeah, so if it is a 12-foot bedroom, all you need the closets.
I mean,
Would someone like to make a motion
well,
or a
Let me-
suggestion?
Sorry, let me want to add, right, I mean, I extend just the first floor, extend to there, I never think that's up, I can go up further, you know, it's no.
yeah, but
use.
see, these are forever. That's what we have to think about, is that when we say something, it's forever, and the fact is, if we let someone build right up to their lot line, then the next person, not you, because you'd never think of that, but they might think of going, and it's in the same footprint at that point now, and then,
Yeah, I would say like, I pretty much, the effort is to remodel the 2-family house, right? After remodel for many years, I don't think the people willing to demolish something and then build something again. I think that's not the, economically, does not make sense.
Well,
And
they
also,
wouldn't have to demolish it, I mean, they could just
I know,
add
yeah.
on. Just-
But, yeah, they take out the roof,
Yeah.
from the first floor, have to do something, but, I don't think it's likely, it's not their value, so what I'm trying to say.
Sit up here for a few years, you'll be hearing a lot of people.
No, I will be
wanna
here.
do that.
I will be here. I'm here for 20 years, I'll be here, I mean, I don't know how long I live, so, but I'll be here.
So I have a feeling if you rework the plans a little bit to bring it off the property line, that bedroom, I think people up here will be a little more comfortable.
Yeah, if you want to come
Right.
up here, I can show you real quick. So,
Can you just point your microphone up so people can, just for the viewers at home?
so if this right now is on the property line, that's what we're concerned about. If you pull this wall 3 feet off the property line, that gives you a bigger buffer from your neighbor, which I think would be nice. So you can make these closets a little smaller, less deep, and just pull this 3 feet.
Okay. You know that on this side, I push off a 3.5 feet based on the current garage on this side. Right?
Yeah, that's good, and so it lines up with the house. I think
Yes,
we
yes,
like that it lines
yeah,
up with the house, so that
And this
makes
side,
sense.
I think I would say like I can like put a 1 feet if possible off, and then yeah, I mean, but this side is really have a wall. You know, if the picture I did not bring here, the wall. There's like a concrete wall between my property and then the next door property. It's a wall somewhere here.
Yeah.
So really not impacting. I'm willing to push off a 1 feet for this side.
Yeah, I think 3 feet at least gives you a distance from the neighbor a bit.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
So if you come back, withdraw today, or ask to come back with a revised design showing 3 feet off your property line, I think we'd be more amendable.
Okay.
So you need an updated plot plan
Okay.
and ground floor plan showing, is it this one? Where's your plot plan? Maybe you don't have the plot plan.
Time to download
Yeah. So we want 3 feet from your neighbor, right?
Paperless.
So, what is it?
It's great when it works.
Three
It's just nice being in Zoom, you know.
Yeah,
You can do that. Line it up with the house.
Yes.
3 feet. I think that's reasonable.
For doing that, do I need to like because the stair, right? I will build a stair on the back,
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then do I need to comply to 3 feet or?
Yeah.
That would be a little hard to turn, if.
Just try and see if it works out.
Because it's really not against because there's a wall. As I said, the back of my house there's a wall on the neighbors.
but the stair will be starting at the same place, it just may not end, it should start and end at the same place, the stairway, even if you,
The stairway right now goes to the property line.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So if
but
we're
that's-
asking him to shift the stair, then
yeah, but we're not,
Does need to go
but he's making, where's this thing hanging? I don't have it.
Oh, I think because the stair comes from his the existing house, I don't think the stair comes from the extension, didn't look like.
No, I know, but the extension shouldn't interfere with the stairway, should it? I mean, he's gonna make it shorter.
The stair here, I will put a line with the current.
there's a stair on the second floor too?
Yeah, that's why the stair go to second floor, go down.
Okay, so it's not the first floor stair, it's the second floor stair?
Align with
But this is the big, of the whole second floor.
Yeah, so
But
the
where's
stair
the-
comes from the second floor, and goes down.
That's
Right,
aligned with the wall.
And right now that's on the property line, we're asking it to get pushed in.
But the building is, where's his
First
first
floor?
floor?
So that's the stair above, coming down, but now it has to end, it's gonna end like here.
Yeah, but it's gonna start the same, I mean, this
It'll
wall,
start the
this
same,
wall
but
can
it
stay
has, it has
here.
a turn sooner,
Why?
because.
Just to line it up, but if you don't line it up necessarily, Where's 3 feet come? At the turn? I mean, that is, that, I mean, it's,
To make it work.
you know, maybe not.
This is real phenomenal.
And it will be, you know, they have to support it differently, but they should be able to.
Yeah, take a look and see if you can pull the
Change
stair off, if you can, at least the bedroom.
Okay. Because if you look at the 3 feet, right, pretty much you take our 3 steps,
Yeah.
it's right not to turn the.
Yeah, they can, you can adjust that tread and the rise and everything, I mean, see, they might be able to do it, it's a formula,
Yeah,
and that's not my part of the job.
it's tight.
Okay.
See what you come up with. Maybe there's a couple different ideas, but I think the big concern is, can you get it off the property line a couple feet, 3 feet?
Right? So would you like to table this until next month? You wouldn't like to, but I mean, are you willing to table this?
So if we deny it, you have to wait 2 years. But if you table it, or if you withdraw without prejudice, you can come back next month. So one of,
Certainly, I don't want my house, still have a hole on the wall and to take another 2 years.
okay.
Right? And then, and if he withdraws, I mean, then he's gonna redo everything again. So tabling would be much better.
Tabling.
You don't have to re-advertise or anything. You just ask that you would waive your
Yep.
time.
Can you just request it from the microphone? They get upset if people aren't talking into their microphones because this is being recorded. So people can't hear you talking right now.
So I should say like,
Withdraw without prejudice?
No,
I think it was a table it.
Table it.
Table it.
table it.
Yeah.
Table it, and you were willing to waive your time rights. We're supposed to make a decision within a certain length of time, and waiting till next month is beyond that time, so you don't mind if you go a little longer. Right?
Okay. So I say table it.
Table it.
Yeah.
And waive your.
How long, like 1 month or 2 months?
Wait for 1 month.
Yeah. You can do it.
So, well, the thing is, 1 month is actually only 2 weeks. Because he needs to have it in a couple weeks before the meeting.
Oh, yeah, maybe 2 months.
All right, did you hear that?
I think you should withdraw without prejudice.
No, they have to advertise again. And pay money, and, I mean, we can table it for 2 months, I mean, if you want, but I mean.
We also have the 85 days.
You have someone that did these for you?
Yeah.
I think is there a name on
Yeah,
it?
there's a name on it, but that doesn't mean anything all the time. So it's, do you think that they could do it within 2 weeks, get you new plans?
No, yeah, give me a little more time, yeah.
A little more time?
2
All
So
months.
table it for 2 months?
Okay.
That gives
yeah.
them 6 weeks to make edits.
Yeah,
Oh, 6 weeks, yeah, 6 weeks, good.
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
Does he have to get it to us in 2 weeks beforehand?
Yes. He needs to get it to Kathy 2 weeks.
And
Within 6 weeks, yes.
the building department's probably gonna have to review it. Is that enough time?
2 months is probably, I mean, I don't know how busy the architect is, but.
We can extend that.
But he's gonna have to sign the waiver.
Yep, okay. All right, would somebody like to make a motion?
I motion to approve the request to table for 2 months.
And we're gonna, we would like the,
Petition to waive rights.
in terms of the amount of time we have to respond to it, because it'll probably go over that. I don't know what the word is that I'm looking for.
No, it's time standard too.
Time standard.
Can
So-
the solicitor, because he's not an attorney, can the solicitor draft something? Can we ask him to draft a stipulation for him?
We have some that we've used.
Oh, you do?
before.
All right, good.
We'll use that.
So what's happening is, if you were to withdraw without prejudice, you would have to reapply, go through the whole process again, do the abutters list, pay for the advertising. But if you table it for 2 months, we have to respond to petitions within 85 days, but we run the risk of going over that. And if we go over it, it's granted automatically.
No, I don't.
But, so what we want you to do is sign something saying you're okay with us going over. So that's what the motion is.
Yeah.
So table it, but you'll sign a waiver for the time constraint that we're up against.
Sure, yeah, I will do that.
I'll send it to you by email.
Yeah, thank you.
Anyone want a second?
Somebody like to second
I'll
that motion?
second that.
Motion by Bilden, second by Froyo to grant the requested table for 2 months with the petitioner waiving the time limits of this petition. Next 2 months, I just want to give you the date while we're here, okay? That would make the June meeting, which would be, Juneteenth will probably be closed.
We're closed. Oh, wait,
June, we're,
Juneteenth is on a
It's a Monday usually.
Monday.
Yeah.
Am I on the wrong thing?
oh,
That's 2020.
oh, the
I'm just
calendar.
joking. I'm joking.
Father's Day. Oh, this is Juneteenth is a Wednesday.
Oh, I thought it was a Monday usually.
It'd be the night,
No, it's the 19th, so
Yeah.
it's not,
It's on its actual day.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
so it's the 19th.
so that means we're gonna be on the 26th.
So we can have it the week before, the week after.
Well, the
Let's-
week
let's-
before the planning board is in.
So let's do the week after. Can we do that?
26th, yeah.
June 25th.
6.
26.
Yeah, because we won't be able to have
All
a
right.
meeting that day. So the next our next meeting will be June 26th.
For you, for this.
Some extra time even.
Do you want to let him know when,
For, just for this.
For the 2 months.
do you want to let him know when he needs to submit his papers by?
Yeah, okay. And your paperwork will be to the board no later than June 5th.
Okay.
Well, I think I've made everyone busy for the next couple months with tabling and withdrawing, so you're welcome. I'll be here.
All right.
So the paperwork will be in terms of
New plans.
the new plan, right?
Yeah, that's all. Just, you know, and if everything stays the same, as long as they can just probably just do the
Yeah, just
first
set that a
floor,
little bit, yeah.
so we can see. you know,
First floor and plot plan, maybe,
Yeah.
yeah.
Plot plan also need to adjust.
Because that's where the setback from the property line
Okay.
seems
So
to be
I
dimensioned.
will make a adjustment on the plot plan and then the drawing, the
Ground floor plan,
rough drawing. Okay.
yeah.
I got it. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
And
have a good
we
evening.
gotta
You too.
take the roll call.
Oh,
Hold on, hold on.
oh,
Oh,
we have to vote on it.
Sorry, we have to vote.
Thought we already did.
No. I stated what we were doing, but we didn't actually call everybody. All right. King,
Yes.
Bilgan,
Yes.
Poyer,
Yes.
Sherwin,
Yes.
and Kramer.
Yes.
Thank you. All right. Your petition has been tabled until June 26th.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Would somebody like to make a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second? Nobody?
Nobody wants to second?
Second.
Come on.
Who's seconding that?
Me.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Aye.
Adjourned at 8:36 PM.
And tonight was your night. All your motions.
We were supposed to